Hello, and welcome. I'm going to give this a few minutes because I want to make sure I'm in frame. I'm recording from a new place today. This is my little meditation corner. And I want to make sure that I am live in all the places that I'm supposed to be live. So if you're watching me, make sure you comment. And I just learned something new. I'm using StreamYard. It's this really great platform for streaming. And I also learned that there is a delay in the commenting. So that might be part of why sometimes I can't see the comments. Okay. And I just got done with an interview from another life coach friend of mine. It was a magical interview. So I'm just taking care of my voice and drinking a little bit. So this is part 3 of the Power Patterns series, which is also the December to Remember, where I'm giving a free coaching and training inside of my Facebook group. So welcome if you are inside my Facebook group. If you're not, come on in. It's called Powerful Potential. Come on in and join. Because this is really where I give free coaching, free support, and it's an amazing community. So do make sure that you request to join. And oh, yay, Catherine's here. Awesome. Okay, so I'm looking at your comments on my phone because I learned, thank you for letting me know, because I learned that there's a delay on StreamYard. So today is going to be all about making decisions from your potential. Okay, so this 5-part training that I'm doing is essentially, I was thinking, okay, what do people need to know to change their life? So I'm in the process of doing this Power Patterns series that is 5 videos. So if you're watching them in real time with me, you're doing them in real time. Or if you're watching the recordings, you're going through and you're doing each process, because this is going to give you the foundational tools to absolutely transform your life. But if it's your first time here, I want to say hello. My name's Cami. I'm an intuitive life coach. I've been coaching for over 7 years now. I originally started as a health coach and transitioned into life coaching in 2018. I've had my own breakdowns and breakthroughs, which I share a lot of my personal stories and client stories during these trainings. And today, this one is about really creating your identity. I use that word potential because we actually have unlimited, expansive, abundant potential. And usually when we're setting goals, usually when we're saying what we desire in our life, we are doing it from this reasonable place of what is normal, of what is accepted, of, I'm going to go to school and do this and get this job making 40,000, or I'm going to go here and I'm going to meet this person, but I'm going to sacrifice. And so what I believe is we get to have what we desire. But we also decide what we desire. So if we lower our desires to meet the normal, then you're going to get the normal, or you're going to get less than normal. You're going to get less than. So what I'm going to help you do in this training is to step into your future self, into your potential, and create this identity that is going to help you make decisions that help you get what you desire. Okay, so I'm really excited for this. So if you are watching live, you can just listen and go back and take notes and do the journaling later. But if you are a note taker, if you are a person who likes to go through it during the process, then feel free to grab a notebook or something and we'll go through that together. So I'm going to share a lot of my experience I went to a transformational retreat in Bali, Indonesia in 2018. And this one was when I was transitioning from solely health coaching into life coaching. And the reason I did that is because women were coming with me for confidence and body image issues and wanting to lose weight, wanting to get guidance on nutrition. And we needed to talk about their relationship with their husband, with their job that they hated. Like, these are just, right, your health and what you're choosing to do in your health area is a reflection of other things going on in your life. So if you're overeating, or if you're not taking care of yourself and your health, it's a direct result to maybe mismanaging stress, to maybe needing to have courageous conversations with people, maybe setting some boundaries. So I realized that, and I really knew that I had the ability, because I transformed my own life, because I did coach people just in the area of health, and they ended up improving their relationship. They ended up getting a raise. Obviously, they'd lose the weight, but they gained confidence. They felt healthy in their body. Because I knew I was able to do that in one area, I wanted to do that in every single area of their life. So I enrolled in this coaching program. Was called Elevate, and it was a 4-day long retreat in Bali, Indonesia. And it was 3 of my male coaches who I've talked about many times, and I'll continue to talk about them because they're amazing. One is named Joel Brown. He's the owner of Addicted to Success. The other one is Emil Steenfeld. He's an emotional intelligence coach. Phenomenal. And then the last one is Ben Kelly, an entrepreneur, a millionaire, network marketer, and he too has had his own transformation. So when I went to Bali, I wanted to go to learn all the marketing things, all the tools, all the things that you do to get the result, right? And if you're here, you can let me know if you've been that person. I certainly have. I've been that person, that high achiever that wants to win the award, that wants to get straight A's, that wants to, win the fitness competition. And I always thought, how do I achieve things? What do I do? What is the how that's going to get me there? So when I went to Bali for this retreat, the intention was master your influence, create an audience, really rock out your business. I wanted to learn the tools, and I thought I was going to get the tools. So I'm telling you this to say, what we need is not always what we think we need. And so in my case, in the way that I coach the same way, I give you what I know is going to support your ultimate vision. And this is a huge key component of what we're doing today in stepping into identity. So when I went to Bali, I thought I was going to learn all the strategies. And really, what I spent a lot of time doing was uncovering who I was, really stepping into my own values, my own vision, which I'm going to teach on in the coming trainings, but also who I was becoming, right? What was my past? And the past is only relevant for you to see, like, oh, those patterns, right? That's why I'm calling this series Power Patterns. Those patterns are not helping me get what I desire. So therefore, I need to step into, first of all, recognition of my patterns, because if we don't have awareness, we can't change it. And then alignment with our future self-identity. Okay, so that's what we're going to practice today. And when I went to Bali, I was a person who always wanted to win, always wanted to be seen as perfect, as doing a good job. I was always, my identity was around being the best at everything. If I did it, I was going to be the best. I was going to be the hardest worker. I was going to stand out. I was going to be the person in the front row, raising my hand. That was my identity then. And what happened was I was realizing in order for me to really grow my business, grow my influence, grow my audience, and essentially help more people, that was what I wanted to do. I actually needed to take off the mask of who I was pretending to be for 30 years. Because nobody wants to align themselves with perfection, right? If you're looking like you're perfect, people will be like, no, I don't like it. So that's why I share so much of my journey and my story, because I realize you're on the same path, right? None of us are perfect. Absolutely zero of us are perfect. So why are we aiming for that? Okay, so that's the first thing. But when we're talking about potential, it's truly, what do you desire? You're talking about your desires. You're talking about what is it that you want in life. And then aligning yourself to become, so you have to be it, right? In order to see it, you start becoming the person who has those things. So let me give you an example. When I was going to Bali, it was all about business, but it was also about relationship, because I had just come out of a 9-year relationship with a covert narcissist. And that meant I was displaying a lot of codependent behaviors. What does that look like? That looked like me being insecure about who I was. That looked like me hiding things about myself because I was afraid that I wouldn't be received in a certain way. I was afraid that I would be judged. And it also showed up as me not asking for what I desired, of me making it all about him and never about me, of me being self-sacrificing to the point of detriment, to the point of me crying myself to sleep every night. And that showed up. I mean, if I'm in a relationship, that's showing up elsewhere too. So that was also showing up in my business, to where I wasn't running a business that was able to sustain me, right? Whenever I was in the fitness realm. And it also had to do with my own self-belief on how I was showing up. And all of this has transformed for me. And this is what I help my clients do throughout creating a new identity. So I want you to first get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Get comfortable with stepping out of the way you've done things and stepping into a new way. Like, just be open. If you can be open and you can be willing and courageous, that is the basis of transformation. That is step one. So the fact that you're still here or you're watching the replay, make sure you hashtag replay and let me know that you've watched the replay. If you are here, I want you to step into and claim, I am open, I am ready, I am willing, I am courageous. I'm willing to step outside of my comfort zone because I know that's where all of my desires live, right? Just like you don't need to lay in bed all day and have everything come to you, right? You actually have to get out of the bed. You actually have to go out into the world and create things and ask for things and create partnerships and opportunities, right? You can't just lay in bed and build the dream body that you want, right? There does take some aligned action, but you've been spinning your wheels for so many years because you've been identifying with the person that never has money or only just has barely enough to get by. You've been identifying with the person who attracts the wrong type of guy or the wrong type of girl. You've been identifying with things are hard for me and I need to work hard. And so, whatever you're identifying with in your beliefs, in who you are, is going to show up as your results, is going to show up as your life right now. So, the very first triggering thing I'm going to say to you right now is when you can start to own and take responsibility for your current life and start to ask, how have I been an active participant in what's going on here? That is the first step into freedom. And the reason I say this is triggering is because a lot of times it's so easy to step into blame, to step into victim mentality. This is happening to me. And I did this for 10 years in multiple different jobs. My story was always, they don't respect me, they're not paying me enough, they don't see how good I am. But there was this underlying sense of insecurity that I always felt like I needed to prove how good I was, that I would project that on other people. But also, I chose jobs that paid me okay. I chose roles that were very basic. And it wasn't until 2019 when I decided to manifest a severance package from my last job that I fully stepped into belief in myself and my ability to run a highly profitable and extremely impactful business. So I say all this to say, it doesn't happen overnight, but the more you practice your new identity, the more it becomes part of who you are. And one of the coolest ways to do this is to change your physical appearance. So this is like step one, identity 101. When I was in Bali, I had hair similar to this, but it was a lot longer. I was letting it grow for a long time. It was interesting because I was letting it grow because the guy I was dating at the time really liked long hair. So of course I was doing it for him again. And so when I left Bali, and I'll even show you, I got a tattoo that says renewed. That goes along with a scripture that says we need to renew our minds every day. But I actually became a new person in Bali, right? There was like Cami pre-Bali and then Cami post-Bali. Like I will never be the same. There's no going back. So for you right now, even in this training, when you make a decision to embody this practice, when you make a decision to step into your potential each and every day, there's no going back to the old life. There's no going back to the old beliefs. There is no going back to the old identity. Now, you may, because you've practiced it for multiple years over and over again, that old life, that old thought pattern will call you back, but you just declare, like, this is where I'm going. This is who I be now. And as you begin to do that, things begin to change for you. So physical appearance is an amazing reminder of your commitment to being that new person, to being the identity that you desire, who has what you desire. So what I did, I got a tattoo. You don't need to be that cray-cray about it. I got three tattoos from that experience. But what I did is I actually cut my hair short. I cut my hair short while I was in Bali. I also put some pink hair dye in it, just like totally went crazy. I put a hoop nose ring in, which I still have. And what that signified for me was every time I would look in the mirror, it signified this is who you are now. You are this new version of Cami. And I actually came up with a name too, and I'll walk you through that process. But the first thing you can do is decide, what do I want to wear? How do I want to look? Maybe it's just a necklace, right? A necklace that has your intention that says, like, when I put this on, I'm stepping into my identity. Or maybe it's some earrings or something. Or maybe it's you're going to wear eyelashes, right? I've started wearing eyelashes recently. Or it can be a hairstyle. You can get your hair cut, right? And you've known this. You've intuitively known this, because a lot of times when we're going through transition, breakups, job loss, something like that, we change our look, we change our hair, because it actually is us stepping into a new identity. Now, guys, you can also do this. You can also just decide to embody, this is how I'm going to dress now. I'm going to wear all black because that suits me. Or I'm going to wear, I had a coach of mine, two of my male coaches actually, both of them completely transformed the way they looked in order to reaffirm the new identity that they were stepping into. Now, you don't have to be as drastic as my one coach, Ben, where he, used to have longer hair, it's a regular haircut, and he shaved his head and he got full body tattoos, right? So that was him kind of rejecting who he was. I don't want to say reject, because who we were plays a role in who we're becoming. So we don't want to reject it, but we are allowing it to die off. We really, truly are. Just like when you transition, from being single to getting married, that's a transition of your single self is gone. So there are things you can't do anymore when you step into marriage. When you step into motherhood, there are things you won't be able to do in the same way once you're a mother. Your life is completely changed, right? So know that this is a natural part of life. Just like when we're going through puberty, we leave behind the child body and we really fully step into a new embodiment of who we're becoming. So this process of letting go of leaving behind, while we can also cherish the person we were, we can also love the person that we were, we're leaving that behind to step into that new identity. So Ben, full body tattoos. Another coach of mine named Jade, he was always the jock in school. So always the player. He was always not good in school. Everybody thought he was dumb, and he played into that, right? He played into the labels that people gave him. That's just who he showed up as. And he decided one day that he wasn't going to be that person anymore. So he started dressing differently. He started wearing glasses. He didn't need glasses, but his glasses were symbolic of him stepping into this role of being smart and doing good in school. Now he is a doctor. But if he would have stuck with that old identity of being the dumb jock, which is the choice, he wouldn't be where he is today, having multiple $1 million businesses, okay? Having a huge impact, being an author, all of those things. If you guys are tuning in now, I want you to let me know what's coming up for you in terms of identity, and what identity would you like to start trying on? So maybe your past identity was I'm shy, I'm an introvert, and that's okay. You can still be an introvert, right? But if being an introvert is blocking you from getting what you desire, like maybe you desire to make connections in business, but you're so introverted that you can't talk to people, you're just going to have to step into the identity of an introvert that has learned a way to communicate with people, right? So it doesn't mean that you need to change who you are at your core. That is truly who you are. It is to learn a new way of being that person. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to start with. Get a journal or jot this down, or, for the replay, you can listen back to it. But when you're creating your new identity, I want you to think of now, what you desire now for your life, right? In the areas of health, wealth, love, maybe God and spirituality, maybe giving back and contribution. You can kind of take several areas of your life and start to write in what you desire. So if you desire to be feeling so good in your body, you can write that under health. I want to feel just vibrant and healthy, and I want to feel like I can move my body. That's how I want to feel in my body. Then you can go to the area of wealth, finances. I want to feel like I have more than enough in the bank. And maybe that's a certain amount of money. Maybe it's $100,000. People like to use that number. Maybe that's $100,000 a year. That's what I desire. And then you go into relationship. Desire a passionate relationship with my partner, either your current partner or you're calling in a new partner. Write down what you desire in those areas first, okay? And then we're going to backtrack and go, okay, that's not my current reality. And those are things I desire. But let me start with self-awareness, with just taking inventory of what my current habits are and what I believe my current habits must become in order for me to be this person. So jot this down. What do you believe are habits that need to stop for you? And you're going to do this in each category. If you're feeling like you want to be vibrant in your body, habits that need to stop will be the late night eating, or eating McDonald's, whatever those things are for you. What habits need to stop? And you'll do this for each category. The next one is, what habits do you need to start? Okay, well, getting up, regularly working out, good. If I'm seeking, passionate relationship with my current partner, that might mean, we have to have some courageous conversations. I need to be more open with them, need to be vulnerable. If you are creating a relationship, I need to put myself out there. I need to create this sense of safety and security of being who I am, or recreating who I am and being that person. And then let's go into your beliefs in each of these areas. So what do you believe now about making the $100,000, right? Your current self clearly doesn't believe in that to the level that it's already created and manifested in your life. You may believe it's possible for others. You may believe it's possible one day, but do you truly believe it in the fact that you're showing up as the person who believes it? So write down, okay, do I believe in $100,000 or do I still have some blocks? What am I thinking? Okay, I'm thinking that money is hard. I'm thinking that I have to work really hard for that. I'm thinking that I don't have enough education. I'm feeling like I'm too young or too old. Write down what you're believing in each of these areas that clearly is a contradiction to having the thing that you desire. And then we're going to get into the fun part. And the fun part is stepping into full belief that all of these things are possible through creating what I call a movie script. So a lot of times when we're setting goals, we're told to do it in a reasonable way, in a timeline, SMART goals. I don't identify with that anymore. At one time, I did that practice. It didn't work for me or my clients in the way that I thought was desirable. So I've kicked it to the curb. And I've replaced it with this magical creation process of creating a movie script of your life. And if you can tap into what is my ideal day? What does that look like? When I wake up in the morning, what am I seeing? Who am I with? What does my day look like? How much money is in my bank account? What does my house look like? Where are we traveling? And you're writing it as if it's happening. This allows you to step more into belief. So before we dive deeper, I want you to do this practice to where you write down, okay, these are the things I want. These are the things I'm believing. And I'm going to step more into belief now by creating this magical creation, having fun with it, just allowing it to flow. And then looking from that creation, okay, this person who wakes up, who has passive income, who has a beautiful family, who, hires somebody to work and help around the house, who has a gardener, who has a housekeeper, whatever, or who is speaking on stages. What does that person believe? How does he or she operate in the world? What does she wear? What perfume does she wear? What car does she drive? How many animals does she have? Does she wear pink fuzzy slippers? I want you to actually create the identity of this woman or man who is your future, who is your potential self, who lives this life. And the fun way to do it is to do it as though you're creating a movie script and you're creating the character. So that character looks like this. They wear all leather, or they have a shaved head, or maybe they wear flowy dresses and they get massages. And they believe that things are easy and they flow to them. And they are so charming that they just attract the right people around them and the right partnerships. That is what you're creating, is an actual movie script of your future self and your future life and the identity of that self. Now, here's what we do when we take it next level as we wrap up this call. And remember, if you work with me one-on-one, we dive deep into this over a period of 6 months. This is the Cliff Notes version, and it is going to support you and it is going to help you. So I highly suggest that you do it and you implement it. But just know that it does take practice over time to truly step into your identity. And we do that over a course of 6 to 9 months in working together. And if you're watching this far, I do have 2 ways currently for you to work with me. The first one is my Powerhouse on Purpose Academy, which is for women. It's 9 months long. It is amazing. It is phenomenal. It is one of the most supportive communities I've ever been in, and we've co-created that space. So this one is for women. This is highly accessible in terms of the monthly investment. So if you're someone who maybe hasn't had a coach before or you're in transition, this would be a great step and opportunity for you to come into this 9-month program. The next round starts January 15th, 2021. But if you're watching this and it's still 2020, you want to get enrolled in that before December 31st of 2020, because you're going to get that promotional introductory pricing for this year, okay? And then the other way, let's say you're watching this in the future, maybe you've missed out on these dates. Don't worry, if you still want to come into the Academy, send me a message and we can talk about getting you into the Academy. But the other way to work with me that is always available, for the most part, is working with me one-on-one. And we'll do that for a period of 6 to 9 months. And you get access to me every single week. And we work on all of this stuff together. So if you're feeling like you're led in that direction, simply book a consultation call with me, completely free, no obligation. But it's a really good way for you to see exactly where you're at now. We create this awareness. And then we go, okay, where do we want to be? And then I help you to see what the actual solution is and how to get there. So we bring clarity to your process, because a lot of times we're going down the rabbit hole of one thing. We're trying to figure out the how, we're trying to do more work, whenever that's actually not the answer. So I'll break down exactly what the answer is. You can decide, we can decide together if it's a good fit to continue to work together. But even if you don't work with me one-on-one, you are going to leave with clarity and a new direction to step in order to create the life that you desire, okay? Now here's the last piece of the identity piece. You're going to name your identity, your new identity, that person that you're stepping into. Mine came through meditation. And I was doing this on a rooftop in Bali under the moon. It was beautiful. And I have several different meditations that you can find on my YouTube channel, or just grab a meditation that just allows you to breathe through, and you can start to just intuitively connect with the name of your future self. My name that came up was Carmen with a K, and her last name is Queen. And she embodies this energy, this fullness of being everything that she is. I envision her riding on a horse, holding puppies and a sword. She is just all of the feminine and all of the masculine, all of the love, all of the things. And she's embracing just all of who she is. And so that's my image of her. And she shows up unapologetically. She's open and inviting, but also very true to her values. And she has strong boundaries. And she's created this beautiful life that is so easy. So when I step into that identity, I go, okay, what would Carmen do today? Would she choose to get up and meditate and work out and create content? The answer is yes. Or would she choose to wallow in self-pity and start to think that things are hard and like, I got to figure out, I need to get a new system and I need to pay somebody to do this. And I'm starting to get distracted by all the limitations. And so now when you start to get scared, when you start to make decisions, you check in with the identity of your future self, the one who's already making the money, the one who already has a beautiful relationship, the one who already lives in that dream house or the dream car. What decision would you be making if you already had the thing and you already know the embodiment of your identity because you've created it? Then you would step into courage and you would say, this is what future self would do, who already is making $100,000 or more, who already has, a team in their business. Then you start to show up as that person. And the more you show up as the person, the more you're seen externally as the person, the more you start to attract those new partnerships, those new opportunities, because you're now open to it. You're not shutting them down. Because right now, you may have the opportunity for $100,000, but your old self is telling you something's blocking you. Money is hard. It wouldn't come to me. I'm not good enough. That old self is blocking you from believing in your future vision, for believing in what it is that you desire. And we will get to the future vision training. So stay tuned for this power patterns training that I'm continuing through the month of December. So I've given you a lot, and I really encourage you to dive into creating this identity and share it in the group. I think it's really cool too when you have an image, maybe you're like, oh, I'm Wonder Woman, or I'm Thor, or, I'm Beyonce. You can create this image of what you believe your future self-identity start to embody, and you can put that image up there as a reminder of, this is how I operate now. This is how I make my choices. I show up as the published author. I show up as the speaker who's already speaking to thousands of people. And then when you show up in that energy, those opportunities start to come because that's already who you are. If you don't believe this, if you're triggered by this, if it feels too good to be true, I invite you to explore, how has the thought too good to be true served you in your life? Has it created suspicion? Has it created blockages? Has it created shutting yourself down from opportunity? Not to say that one's right or wrong, but when you're ever exploring your thoughts and your triggers, just ask, this person has what I desire, or they're on their way to what I desire, or they've done it in their lives, or they've done it in their clients' lives. The other option is you can stay in your old patterns and continue to live the same life. And for some of you, that may be beautiful. You may love what you have already, and I encourage you to love what you have already on the way to expanding and growing into more. But if this feels new to you, if it feels wacky, if it feels weird, if it feels different, good. Step into the uncomfortable. Step into your future, because that is how you change your life. That is how you change your results, is by doing something different. Because if you just do what you've been doing, you're going to continue to get what you've always got. So I leave this up to you, my friend, to do the work on this. Share this in the comments. Let me know how this is working for you. And if you want to connect on a call to find out more, simply send me a message, or you can go directly to my website, CamiKennedy.com/call, and you can book a call with me right there. You can find all the information on Powerhouse on Purpose Academy on powerhouseonpurpose.com. Have a beautiful, blessed, abundant day, and I will see you for the next training.